Hi, everyone. Welcome to our live demo for new users to Google Apps. I'm Q, and this is David. We're both the Google Apps product specialists, and since we know that a lot of you just recently started using Google Apps, we wanted to show you guys how they can integrate into your work and daily business. In today's world, we realize that all of you are involved in a lot of changing projects and in a lot of changing environments. And everyone's wearing different hats these days, and people work really cross-functionally now than ever before. And Google Apps was designed exactly to cater to those changing needs. So what makes Gmail and the rest of the Google Apps suite really unique is that it allows companies like yours to collaborate with each other, unlike any other business solution available out there. So in these next 30 minutes, David and I are going to demo some product features of the Google Apps core suite that is going to allow for the best collaboration possible among you and your coworkers. We're going to have some time for questions at the end, so we just want to encourage you guys to save them and send them to the chat after the demo is over. And we also want to emphasize that even though we know that some of you guys are admins who are attending the demo today, but this is going to be targeted specifically for end users of our products. So now we're going to show you guys how Gmail works together with some of our main core products. And we hope that with these products, you're going to get a lot more done in less time and hopefully have some fun along the way. So let's get started.
All right, so hey everybody, I'm David. I work with Google Apps, but for today I am going to channel my interactor, and I'm going to be playing the role of Perry, who is an employee at a company called Solarama, and I am planning a global summit for my company with a number of global counterparts. It's an international company. We've got offices in plenty of continents. And basically, I'm on my current system, on my current enterprise software, call it Exchange, Lotus Notes, anything other than Google Apps. I've had a hard time, organizing this summit. I keep on getting tons of emails from all my different counterparts, calendar events. It's just a lot of information coming at me. There's no way to organize it. I don't know what to do. So I decided to start trying Google Apps. But I have no idea how to use Google Apps. Nothing. So Q, can you teach me how I can actually use Google Apps to maybe organize my summit a little easier?
Absolutely. And I think the best way to learn about Google Apps is actually walk through a live example. So just going to share my desktop with you guys right now. And so, the very first thing you're going to want to do, and so the first step is let's log into our Google Apps account. So the best part is that we made this really simple, and you can log in directly from the Google homepage. So let's click sign in. Let's type in our username, Harry@solarmora.com, and our password. Sign in. And from here, you'll see this grid menu on the upper right-hand corner. And from here, you can actually access all of your Google Apps from the Apps menu. So one of the most popular apps among all of our enterprise customers is Google Mail. So many features make Gmail the preferred email platform for a lot of businesses out there today. We're now going to show you and walk you through exactly how Gmail can make your organization more collaborative and effective. So let's go to Gmail.
Awesome. Show me what you got. Ready to learn more about this thing called Gmail.
Great. So one of the main features of Gmail is the ability to thread conversations under one subject in one view. Let's check out how this works by going into an actual email. So we'll see this top email between 3 people. It's between Jane, Harry, and Gary. And you'll see that under the one subject, planning the company outing, there's an entire conversation thread that groups all these messages together. And so that it's easily organized and you never have to have these individually standalone emails in your inbox.
That's really cool. So basically you're saying that all of these individual messages people have been sending me about the summit could just be threaded into a few conversations, so I don't have to like keep on clicking in and out of all these different individual emails anymore.
Exactly. And in the case that you do want a more traditional view, you can always go into your inbox settings in Gmail, and you scroll down your settings. You can see here in conversation view, you can actually turn this off. So if you prefer to receive individual emails, you can also do that. But for now, let's just keep this on.
Cool. So I got a question for you. I'm getting all these emails. I now know how to turn them into conversations, so I'm not getting tons of different individual emails. Is there a way for me to make the emails that are about the summit stand out in my mailbox so that I know just from a bird's eye view which emails are involving the summit?
That's a really great question. So you'll see here, right next to the email subject in the left, there's a little label that says team building. Now, so what this is a inbox label in Gmail. So most people are familiar with putting emails in individual folders in traditional inboxes. What's different about labels is that you can have multiple labels applied to one email, as opposed to previously, you could only put an email into one folder, and therefore you would have to limit the way you categorize your emails. So let's see how you could add another label to this email thread.
Yeah, let's say I wanted to add a label called just the summit.
Okay, so here you'll see this label icon on the top toolbar. All you have to do is click it, and under here it says create new. Select that, and you said you wanted to label it summit, right?
Sure.
Just type in summit and hit create. And up at the top here, you see that both summit and team building has been applied to this email, which is also in your inbox. If you go back to your inbox, you'll see that both labels are applied.
Oh, that is really helpful. Cool. So now I can basically put all these individual messages in conversations, and I can label them. So it's very easy for me to see which messages are for the summit and which ones aren't. Great. So here's another question for you. I've got a lot of different counterparts that I'm working with all over the world in different continents. And it's really annoying when I have to, write a new email to them and I have to type in everybody's address. Is there some sort of way for me to just create like a distribution list or some group to send to all the different summit counterparts?
Yeah, I mean, it does seem like a lot of work that you have to email every individual. So, for example, in this email, I can see that there's 3 people that you have to email.
And there are like
individually.
20 other people that I could be emailing as well.
That's a really, that seems like a lot of work that can be avoided. So with Google Groups, actually, we've made setting up an email list really easy. And so if we go back into the menu, you'll see groups listed here on the bottom row. Let's go into that and check that out. So with groups, you can actually create what are known as traditional email lists. And if you go into My Groups, you'll see that Groups has been customized for the domain, in this case, solarmora.com. And let's see how you could create an email list directly in Google Groups. And click on Create a Group. And you said that this is for planning the summit, right?
Yep.
All right, so let's give this group name Summit Committee.
Ooh, sounds official.
And for the group description, you mentioned that this is for planning the global summit for the entire company, right?
Yep.
So here you have a lot of other options you can customize, including the permissions as well as the group type. So in this case, we're just going to keep it an email list since we want to send out emails. Go back up here and click Create. Just going to take a few minutes. Now that it's been created, you'll see here from this menu, you can invite people to join the group. So going back to the previous email, let's say we want to email Jane as well as Gary, all within this one group, so we don't have to type their emails individually. Let's get them in to join this group. And after I send this invite, Jane and Gary are both going to be added to this email list. And now you can actually go back into Gmail and compose a new message to the Summit Committee at solarmora.com.
That is so easy compared to my last email platform where we would have to file tickets to our IT admins and they'd have to create like a distribution list and assign certain permissions to everything, and it would take like 3 weeks to do it all. So this is way better.
Yeah, and now you can send out emails to just one address. No IT admin required. So hopefully we've been able to show you what Gmail can basically do for you and your coworkers. And we also have some other apps that work really, really effectively with Gmail and that we think can make your work even more efficient with one another.
Wait, you're saying Google Apps isn't just Gmail?
No, actually. It's only one product that we offer an entire course suite.
Oh, I had no idea. I thought Google, I just figured, Gmail was Google Apps. So you're telling me this one. Okay, cool. Let's, I'm assuming I could use all these other apps to plan my summit too, right?
Yeah, most definitely. So why don't we take a look at Google Drive right now?
I mean, we've got this whole car situation worked out already for the summit. We've got rental cars, shuttles, and, we can probably move on from Drive.
So not exactly what you're thinking, but probably just as useful as physical transportation itself. Google Drive is actually another product in our course suite. So you'll see you can access it in the second row of the grid menu.
Oh, so this is not the driverless cars.
Not exactly, but I assure you it's equally innovative. So what Google Drive is it's Google's solution to cloud storage for enterprises. So you can store all of your company's files in the cloud online. And the best part is that you can access them anywhere on multiple computers and on multiple devices. So with Drive, you're not tethered to your hard drive or your computer anymore. It's not driverless per se, but it's still seamless for all of your company's accessibility needs. Let's check out what this looks like online.
So it's like cloud storage and not actual, like a cloud drive, basically, right?
Yeah, pretty much. So here in the main Google Drive page, as we see now, you have all your folders and your documents in a list here. One of our users' favorite features about Google Drive is actually its suite of document editors that allow you to collaborate like never before with other people on the same document. So let's take a look at how this would work with Google Docs. I'm just going to click on here in the left side menu, Create. Let's open up a document.
Whoa. So this is not Microsoft Word. This is like a separate app.
Definitely not Microsoft Word, but still another really powerful Word editing software.
So this is not a piece. This is just in the browser.
Exactly. So still all in the cloud.
Oh.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
So let's check out how this works on a web browser. So let's. So you said you wanted to sort of brainstorm what you guys would like to do on the summit, right?
Yeah. I mean, there are lots of potential ideas.
All right. So let's name this document Brainstorming the Global Summit. So what's really unique about Google Docs is that unlike traditional word processing software, as you just mentioned, you can actually edit a document at the same time as other users. So let's go into Share for this document and share this with the group that I just created. So what I did here was I opened up the sharing settings menu, like you can see here. Here you can add people as well as email lists for exactly who you would like to collaborate with in this document. So let's invite the group we just created, Summit Committee at solarmora.com. And we can also invite individual users as well. So let's invite Jane on Mora.com. And notice that you can send a copy of the document to yourself as well as paste it into the email so people know exactly what they're getting. So after I've changed these settings, you'll see that Jane now has editing access to this document as well as the entire Summit Committee. All right, so.
Whoa, who's that? What was Jane Smith?
So here in the upper right-hand corner, you can see that Jane, who we just invited, just opened up the document on her computer.
Well, she just said hi to me.
Yeah.
And I can see it?
Exactly.
And that's her typing in real time.
And not only that, both of us can be typing in this document at the exact same time.
This is blowing my mind. Like, we used to have like a local shared drive that we would put files in, and the network was always super confusing, and we couldn't access anything if we weren't in the corp network. And this is just as easy as just going to some browser, creating a doc, sharing it to my Summit Committee, and then just letting people access it in their browsers, right?
Exactly. And with this, you can actually access it on multiple devices and not have to really worry about being connected to your local network in order to access the same documents.
This is really, really cool. This is going to help us so much. I mean, we've already got salsa classes, treasure hunts, cliff jumping, my personal favorite, laser tag.
So before we go too deep into planning cliff jumping, let's check out all the other ways that you can customize your sharing settings to make sure that your brainstorming is exactly with who you want in the committee. Right. So going back into the sharing settings, you can see that Jane has editing privileges. And for each user in this menu, you can change their access to either less restrictive, even make them the owner, or you can make it more restrictive and only give them viewing access. So that's the same for this entire document as well. So let's go into the specific access settings for this document. So if I click on Change next to the access settings, you can see that right now we've only shared it with the specific people that we added. So you can actually even make it even less restrictive and open and have everyone in your company, so in this case, SolarMora Inc. So that anyone can find and access this document in their drive. And you can also set it so that people that you send the link to can access as well. So for now, let's just leave it as we did before. So looks like we're pretty set on brainstorming with Google Docs. So let's say that now you want to know how many people can actually attend the summit that you're planning.
Oh, I could use like a survey, like SurveyMonkey or something, right?
So in that case, you'll actually have to use a third-party app, but there's actually something specifically within the Google Apps suite that can help you with that, so you don't have to do that.
So no more SurveyMonkey?
No more SurveyMonkey.
Oh.
But I assure you that our solution is just as useful. So another really collaborative tool that Google Drive provides is forms. Sorry, so let's just go back into Drive. And you can create your own surveys or forms, as we call it, directly in Drive. So going back to create, we can open up a brand new form. And here you can see that there are a number of themes for you to choose from to customize. So what would Perry like, you think?
Let me channel my inner Perry. I'm going to go ahead and say Perry likes fish.
Perry likes fish.
Big
Where was
fisher.
fish? Oh, very cool. And so since we want to find out who can attend the summit, let's call this form RSVPs to the summit. So here, you can start creating your questions immediately for the form. So let's say the first question that we want to get from respondents is their name, so we know who's coming. And let's make their response be a text format. And so we want to know whether they're coming. And we can make this one multiple choice. And what's really great about forms is that after making the form, you can send the form right into people's inboxes so they can respond immediately.
So that's just the form that I created? Okay, cool.
Yeah, so if we go back into your Gmail inbox, you'll see that the form sends directly into your inbox as a message.
So I can just answer the form if I'm one of the people that I sent my form to. They can just answer it directly within this email.
Exactly. And
that makes me look really, really smart.
I'm glad. So let's check out how responses are actually recorded. So let's say that I'm definitely attending.
Yep, I'm planning it. Good to go.
So what's your outing idea?
I liked the cliff jumping thing and the laser tag.
Very adventurous. So let's click both so that we cover all our bases. So after I click on submit, again, this is right in my email inbox. Your response will be recorded on the form's response spreadsheet. So let's check out where all these responses are actually going. So I'm going to go back into my Google Drive and you'll see that here, my response that I just made was recorded in the last row of the spreadsheet.
So these are all the other people that have already responded to my data?
Exactly.
Oh, man. And this is like a Excel document, right? It's like a spreadsheet, basically.
Yeah. So this is Google Sheets, and this is Google's spreadsheet editor located directly in Drive, and you can create a Google Sheet by itself typically, or in this case, you can create one form or one sheet linked directly to a form to collect responses. So let's see what we can do with RSVPs we've received in the spreadsheet. So as you can see, we've what makes Sheets really unique is its compatibility with the entire Google Apps Suite. And Sheets has also a really wide variety of spreadsheet features that are not only powerful, but really, really easy to use. So I'm going to demo a couple of cool features of Sheets that are used pretty frequently by our users. So you can see here that we've highlighted all the yes responses to the summit in green. So a lot of our users find conditional formatting to be pretty useful, and it's pretty common among other spreadsheet editors as well.
I use conditional formatting all the time with Excel. So you can do this in Sheets too?
Yeah, and you can add and customize rules as you wish. And
Can I also do like cool equations in this too? Like, V lookups or averages and all that good stuff like in Excel?
Absolutely. So Sheets has a ton of useful formulas, just like any other spreadsheet editor, and it's really helpful in helping you analyze your data. So, for example, with the count formula that we use here, you can see that we're counting up how many people responded yes to the summit. And for more help on formulas, you can visit our Google Drive Help Center, and we list all our functions and formulas that are compatible with Google Sheets. So, like Docs, you can share your sheets as well with any other users, and this is streamlined for all Google Docs in Drive.
So you mean for Sheets or for Docs or for like spread PowerPoints or forms or anything, I can share with them all the same way.
Exactly. And going back into Drive, you'll see that this spreadsheet was actually created by Jane, but shared with me. And to access all of the documents that have been shared with you with other people, you can always enter this section of Drive.
Share it with me. All right, cool. So there's my Drive, share it with me. Got it.
So at this point, it looks like we're done brainstorming, and we've got the attendee list. So now we're finally ready to plan and enter the planning stage. So the next product that I want to introduce that's really going to be helpful for this next step is Google Calendar. So as a mainstay of our Google Apps Suite, Google Calendar really helps you stay organized daily with what you need to do and who you need to meet. So now let's go through some of the most productive features of Calendar for all of you guys. So the really cool thing about the Google Apps Suite, as I mentioned, is how all of these apps work together. And you can actually schedule calendar events directly in a Gmail message. So if I hover on this date here that Gary proposed to meet, you'll see that I get a little pop-up that says add to calendar.
Whoa. That is cool.
So let's click on this. You can see that here for the title of the event, it's been pre-populated with the message heading. And the date has already been autofilled for you. And now all you have to do is basically add a time that works.
So it is smart enough to know that basically I said, let's meet at some time in my email, and it knows that I should create a calendar event for it.
Exactly. So it's auto-recognizing the dates in your email.
That is genius.
And after we add it to calendar, let's check out calendar just to make sure that everybody can attend and this time works for everybody. Let's go back up to the grid menu and look at our daily agenda. All right, so here you'll see that the weekly agenda for your calendar and today's date is highlighted. And you'll see that for Friday, March 14th, that we just scheduled the event, here's the event that we just created.
Goodness, yeah.
And so let's check out what all these other events are.
Yeah, what are all the green ones? And I'm a little confused right now.
So if you go to the left-hand side and go under My Calendar, you'll see that your calendar is always listed as the first calendar. So in this case, Perry. And all the events on your calendar are going to be in purple. And all the events in green are Jane's events. And Gary's events are all in light blue. And so you can hide these calendars if they're getting a little too cluttered for you and you want fewer distractions. Or in our case, we wanted to make sure that 3 p.m. works for everyone. So
I can just add coworkers' calendars in there by using, I guess, that add coworkers' calendar button, right?
Exactly. And you can also share your calendars with other coworkers in case you want them to know your schedule.
So if we're like planning a meeting for the summit, a summit meeting, and I can just go to calendar, look at all my summit co-leads, and figure out the exact right time to put the meeting in when everybody's available, right?
Exactly. So one other situation you might run into is if you want to meet with people that are not in your local office. So the question that, you might think about is, well, what if your coworkers need to meet with you but aren't located on your same site that day? So let's check out how you could actually meet over video with Google Calendar.
Video? Like I can see them in real person?
Yeah, exactly.
Like how much extra does that cost?
So video conferencing is actually in integration with Google Calendar, and it's actually called Google Hangouts with inside the entire Google App Suite.
So am I not getting something, or is it's not an extra charge?
No, it comes with the entire suite when you purchase it.
So it's another Google app.
Exactly. So let's just check out how we can get this set up, and then I think it'll make it a little bit more clear. So if we go back into the event, you'll see that I'm currently in editing mode. I can actually, next to video call, add a link. So right now, the meeting for the video conference is called Perry. Let's actually change it to
Summit video.
Summit video. Sounds good. And here, let's actually add some guests so we're not alone in the meeting.
So that's how I can invite them.
So let's invite Jane. And let's also invite Gary. And let's actually set up a room where we can meet. So I'm not just having a video conference at my desk. So here, this room looks good. Big enough for 4 people. That's big enough.
So I'm assuming if that room was already booked by another group of people, it wouldn't show up in the list, right? It would be busy.
Exactly. And I've checked show only available, so that's not going to be a problem for this room.
Oh, that's really smart.
Let's click Save. And yes, we want to send these invitations to guests to let them know about the meeting. And let's check out how you can video conference with each other in Google Hangouts.
Yeah, I'm excited to see this. This is pretty cool.
All right, so let's click on this to join the meeting. So just to go a little bit more in depth, Google Hangouts is Google Apps' easy-to-use video conferencing software that incorporates the best features of Google's chat and video technology. So you can collaborate and interact with your coworkers like never before with previous VC technology. And the best part is that Google Hangouts is easily accessible in multiple Google apps, as we've seen just now. You can create Google Hangouts right inside events and host a Hangout directly from the email notification or an event page. So now that we're in the Hangout, you can see that you have a lot of different features available to you. You can chat with people in real time. So if you don't want to interrupt the speaker, you can send a chat to everyone. And it looks like Jane has just joined. And you can see that there was a little bit of interference just now. And that's a problem that Google has already planned on people having. So we have this really nice mute microphone feature in case there's interference in your office space. And you can also turn on and off your webcam depending on your surroundings for a little bit of more privacy control. You can also add more people to your Hangout who hasn't been invited to the meeting. So a little bit of impromptu action that you can conduct there. And another really great feature that our users really like about Hangouts is the ability to screen share. and specifically among our enterprise users like yourselves. So if you want to send a presentation or discuss an agenda item that you would like to share on your screen, you can click on the screen share button and you'll have a selection option of selecting different desktop views. So let's say if we wanted to share your screen, you would just click this button and you could select different views of your applications that are running in the background.
So I can literally be planning my summit meeting with all these people in real time. I can have a doc open and we can be typing in real time. I can have a Hangout open and we can be seeing each other in real time. And then even on top of that, I can even share my, if I have like a presentation or something to give, I can share my presentation with them through just a screen share.
Exactly.
This is like a brave new world for me. This is awesome.
So, now that we've shown, these main 4 products of the entire Google Apps Suite, let's run through, everything that we've accomplished during this summit planning session. So you've brainstormed ideas collaboratively, you've collected RSVPs, you've successfully scheduled events and meetings, and met with one another. Hopefully you guys all had some fun along the way during this demo and have learned how Google Apps can make your projects and your work a success. And now that we're at the end of the demo, we're going to open up the floor for your questions. So feel free to fire away.
So we obviously can't answer all questions here. I have, by the way, broken the acting plan, and I'm no longer Harry. I'm David again. So we can't answer all the questions, but here are some. So the first one is, can I share calendars with others and then let them edit my calendar?
That's a really great question. So if you go into My Calendars and go into your settings, you'll see that under sharing, you can share your calendar with exactly who you want within your company. So all you would have to do is enter their email address. And not only that, after you've added a specific user to your sharing settings for your calendar, you can even control how much they can see. So here, for see all event details, they'll be able to see all the events that you've created, and the titles and the time and the room, etc. Let's say you only want them to see that you have something scheduled but not the exact details. You can select it to see only free busy. And what that looks like, if we go back to calendar, you'll see that all their specific details are hidden, and you can only see that their time is blocked off. So yeah, that's a really great question. And we've made these sharing settings so that you have as much customizability to your privacy as possible. So, any others?
Yeah, we've got a Hangouts question. Can people outside of your domain attend a Hangout you create?
So that depends on your admin settings. You'll have to ask your admin what the restrictions on those Hangout settings would be. Typically, a lot of companies like to keep permissions restricted to their domain so that company information isn't shared. But your super admin would have control over either lifting that access to be more or less restricted. So definitely get in touch with your admin about that.
We've got a groups question here, a pretty good groups question. Can I add external email addresses to a group? So not just users within my domain, but someone from maybe another company or something like that.
Yeah, so let's just check out groups. So you'll see that actually you have two different groups views with Google Groups. You have My Groups, and you also have your organizational view. So within your domain, you'll only be able to invite users that are specific to your domain. But you can also create non-domain groups in which you can add external users as well. So to answer that question, depending on the group that you create.
Going back to Google Drive now, we're hopping all around the board here, keeping Q on her feet, or on her toes, sorry. Are there any ways to basically sort documents in Drive?
So that's a great question that we get a lot. So organization is definitely really important for Drive users. So you can see that here, like a traditional document list, everything has been listed in alphabetical order. Your folders are always listed first, and your files are listed afterward. In terms of sorting, we have what Google is best known for, and with the search bar, you can actually filter all your documents into different categories. So here you can see you can filter by type, by visibility, aka by who can access your documents. You can filter by the owner of the document, whether it's owned by you or shared to you by other people, as well as the creative tool and how it was opened. So lots of different options to organize your views in Drive.
Yeah, I personally like just using the Recent tab on that. That's the one that I use pretty much all the time because it shows you the list from top to bottom of any documents that you've opened, most recently. And so generally, when I'm going into Drive, I want to work on things that I just was working on. So I just click on Recent, and I use the search feature a whole lot. Random side note: while we're talking about search, I know that we went over using labels and conversation view in Gmail to help make it easier for you to see different emails in your inbox. Another thing that we highly encourage you all to do and to start doing from an really early on once you start using Gmail is searching through your email. Traditionally, I'm assuming a lot of you were Outlook users. And Outlook's a great client. I like Outlook. The way that it works is through folder organization. So most people just use folders to find their emails. Gmail's a little different. Yeah, we do support labels and we have labels, but our labels don't work the same way as folders do. And we really encourage users to use the search feature. The labels are really more of like an organizational feature, but they're not. We kind of encourage people to use search to actually find whichever emails you're looking for. And that's really where our product excels. We've got tons of advanced search parameters that you can use. We've got a Help Center article that lists those parameters, or you can just type any text that you think is included in an email from 3 years ago, and it'll pop up pretty instantaneously. So it's really awesome. We've got a little bit of a cheeky question, but I think it's good to answer. Why are we using WebEx right now and not Hangouts for this live demo?
So that is an excellent question that we've been anticipating, and we're glad you all asked. So we wanted to demo Hangouts, and that would have been pretty difficult to do if we were using Hangouts itself. So we really wanted to stress how Hangouts is a really, really great alternative to traditional video conferencing. And hopefully we've been able to show you that through the demo. And so we do recognize that there's a little bit of inconsistency with our product usage on Google's app, but we hope that by us taking the hit that you can see how awesome Hangouts is. So thank you for asking. Yeah, and basically just to reiterate what Q was just saying, you can't be in two Hangouts at once. And so if we had done this via Hangouts, then we wouldn't have been able to open that second Hangout up
to show the actual features of it. We've got a Google Docs question. Is there a feature that saves different versions of a document in case one gets modified or changed or deleted or edited by a rogue employee or anything?
Absolutely. That is definitely one of the main concerns is that because multiple people can edit at once, people are really concerned that previous versions are completely lost unintentionally. So with spreadsheets, docs, presentations, if you go into File in the menu, and you'll see here the option to see the revision history. So you'll see on the left-hand side here exactly who edited the document and at what time. And the most important part is that once you select a version, you can always restore it back to its previous state, which is really, really great for these shared documents when you want to preserve your content. Really great question. And, Google absolutely understands this user demand for this feature. And, definitely a useful feature to know about.
I think a related feature that we have is kind of basically a revision history with contacts, in the fact that if you, say, accidentally delete a large number of your contacts, or if you deleted one contact that you want to get back, you can actually go into the Contacts app, which is just contacts.google.com, and there's a feature that lets you just restore your contacts. I believe it's under the More menu. There you go, restore contacts. So that is also extremely useful, and it's similar to the Docs revision history, because we're Google, all of this stuff is in the cloud, so we're constantly, data is constantly being saved and updated. So it's pretty nice that users are able to revert back to previous versions of that data. Still going through this document here, trying to look for more questions. Here's a group's question. Do people I invite to a group have to accept the invitation? And you can, I can briefly answer that. So the answer is, it depends on how you invite them. There are two ways to invite people to a group. You can either directly add them, which is, not asking them. You can literally just place them in the group as the group admin or the group owner, or you can choose to invite them. So if you invite them, then they can either say yes or no. If they say no, then hopefully your feelings aren't too badly hurt. If you want to avoid getting your feelings hurt, like me, I just personally directly add people to groups.
That's a really good way to preserve harmony in your company, I guess. We've got a great question about tags in Drive. So here you can see that that actually folders kind of, by tags, I'm sort of assuming that you mean labeling in like we've seen in Gmail inbox. So just to show you a little bit how that works. So when you put something in a folder, you're actually tagging that item with the folder name. So let's go to this spreadsheet that we were just in the demo, and let's drag it into my drive. So you'll see that after I placed this into my drive, it was tagged, or as we call it, labeled with the My Drive label. And this just lets you know its location. And let's say we put this in another folder. So let's put it in the folder team building, since this is a team building exercise for the summit. If we go back into shared with me, you'll see that the tag actually changed to team building to let you know exactly where it is. So in that sense, that's sort of how labels work in Drive. So it's supposed to help you locate your documents, even though they're shared and could be all over the place. So it helps you pinpoint exactly where things are. It's a great question. Let's see. So we've got a question here about how we can link emails to Google Calendar. So if we go back to that event that I was just demoing, so you'll see that here is what the question was referring to, is the source of that event was the email planning company outing. And that just happens automatically when you create an event in your Gmail inbox. It lets you know exactly how you created the event, so you have a reference point, a message to go back to. So good question there as well.
So if you create an event directly from Calendar rather than from Gmail like we did in the demo, the source would be Google Calendar.
Exactly. So it lets you know exactly the source of that creation, so nobody's confused, since so many guests can be invited. So we've got another final question about folder views in Google Drive, and to sort of generalize, you can create new folders to organize your data in Drive, just sort of like you would in a local hard drive. What's different is that you can share these folders with multiple users as well. And you can also drag folders that have been shared with you into your Drive, so that imagine if another user had their Google Drive account open, they could see the same shared folder in their My Drive as well. So that's what makes Google Drive a little bit more different than local hard drives. And you can always learn more about Google Drive and its different views in our Help Center. And we'll be sending out some more information after this live demo, so you guys can refer to this, and we'll link you to all the right resources. So unfortunately, we are out of time, but if you happen to have any other questions beyond this demo, you can always visit our Google Apps Help Center at support.google.com. And we'll also, like I said, be sending you a cheat sheet so you can review everything that we've covered today in your own leisurely pace. Plus, if you want to tell us exactly what you liked or didn't like about the demo and what you found useful, please fill out the Google form after you leave. We extremely value and welcome your feedback, and would love to learn about what worked or didn't work for you. So please don't be shy. Finally, just want to thank everyone for attending our Google Apps for New Users demo. We really hope that this was helpful for you guys. And hope you all have a great rest of the week. Thank you so much.